Thank you very much, both of you, for this time. First of all, this is a very original question that I need to ask you is, why do you think after all these years it was the time to bring Beetlejuice back?
Well, it's a good question because there was talk of it for a long time, but it wasn't until recently where I felt like, you know, it really has to do with getting older and having experience. So I focused on the fact that the Lydia character, who was a cool teenager, I thought, well, what happened to her? What happened to, you know, did she have kids? Did she have what did she turn into? You know, and so it became very personal. Like how, you know, because I know my own journey, how you start from cool teenager to screwed up adult to wherever you go, whatever. And so the idea of making like a weird family movie, you know, with 3 generations of these women, and then, you know, through this world with Michael and Beetlejuice, it just all of a sudden became very clear and interesting.
Was the work with the Addams Family universe kind of inspiring for that?
Well, I think no, because I was working on this before, but I do feel like it re-energized me a little bit. You know, I mean, I was in a funny mood, and so it re-energized me a bit. But you know, Michael and I have talked about this from the very beginning, and both of us never really, you know, we were not dying to do it until it felt right, and so I think we all felt.
And when I think about it now, there was a period where I said, "Oh, I think we should do it. I really want to do it." Like a period. When I think back, it works way better waiting this long. I don't know why, but it just makes more sense waiting this long. I don't know that if we would have done it earlier. Well, first of all, and I'm not just saying this, that we wouldn't have had Jenna, and she's not only just really good in it. She's the key. She's kind of the story, really, you know. So that plays tremendously, and then, you know, he would have never met her till now. So it just was the right thing, I think. Yeah.
But also, it felt like I said, for me, it made it to rework with Michael and Winona and Catherine. It made the whole thing trying to do it in the same style that we did the first. It's just, for me, not that it means anything to an audience, it made, for me, more emotional, a much more powerful and emotional film to make.
And Lydia Dietz got older, a lot of things happened in her life, but Beetlejuice didn't age a bit. So how was it like to step in those shoes again? I mean, 35 years passed. Well, you're in great shape, but I mean, 35 years.
No, first of all, he looks fantastic.
He's a suave guy. You never lose your looks, do you? So.
But Beetlejuice looks very good.
He does look very good. Like, he even aged a bit, you know. So he keeps himself, because he's so nuts, he keeps himself.
But when he came, we didn't rehearse or do anything. So and he showed up on set, and it was like he never left. It was weird. It was like true demon possession.
Absolutely.
We didn't go like, we walked on, because we shot it fairly quickly. He walked on, and I could see the crew. Everyone was like, oh my God. It's like, he is this character.
And also, is it fun to work with a character that has absolutely no morals?
Yes.
Because every villain has at least something.
Yeah, we love it.
We didn't have to worry about political correctness or anything. We could just do what we wanted.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Well, that's a question that I wanted to ask you, because it seems to me like you seized the opportunity in this movie to talk about some things in a funny way, in a slight way, with metaphors, but influencer culture, feminism, climate change, therapy, migration, a lot of stuff around this. Did you think about that? Was it something that you were looking for?
Yes and no. He'll answer.
No, but you know, you can answer too. We do, but we never want to make anything heavy. We're not making these powerful, major comments.
Right.
We do it in sort of offhanded way, in the spirit of Beetlejuice and the character. They're comments, but they're not that serious, and they're not that life-changing or affirming or anything. They're just kind of sort of comments and feelings that I have that I just.
But I like commentary, because anything can be commentary. Like that's what makes certain comedy so well. You know, and satire so great. But you don't notice it if you have to be kind of paying attention to it to just pick up on it, but it's just a subtle little thing. It's a throwaway, a lot of it. Right?
Yeah, but it speaks to the time.
Definitely. No, it was definitely a vehicle to express these things, for sure.
Nice. Well, both of you are cinema lovers. You work with an Argentinian writer, with Armando Boy in Birdman. So you're almost Argentinian for me. So I need to ask you if you have seen anything of Argentinian cinema. Do you like any directors, actors?
No, I wish you wouldn't have asked me.
Don't ask me or him these questions, like what day is it, or your favorite song or favorite movie, or anything.
No, because I'm bad at it.
Really bad.
There was a period too, and now I'm embarrassed because I can't remember this guy's name. I love. Oh shoot! I'm sorry. I'm
no problem. It's okay.
Now. But I don't know what the state of the Argentinian cinema is now. Like I've been asking the folks here in Mexico what the state of the cinema is, because we're kind of lucky, you know. People eventually will come up with the money to make movies, but you'll see these great filmmakers in these. Like in Argentina, for instance,
there's not much money,
and there's no money,
no.
And you think, man, these guys are just getting by, even be able to make a movie. And you go, I'll see performances, specifically, you know, from some Argentinian filmmakers, and of course Alejandro and those guys. But you'll think, who's this? You can't believe how good the actors are, or how good the filmmakers are, and then you say, you know, they'll get to make one movie every like 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
Yeah, we're very lucky.
Well, you laugh at bureaucracy again in Beetlejuice a lot. So, what was that? Where's that coming from? Do you have like
I hate bureaucracy. And I always did. Even as a child, I didn't even know what bureaucracy was, but I still hated it.
Yeah.
You know, there's a famous Argentinian character, a comic book character. It's called Mafalda. She's got a turtle. She's a little kid. She talks a lot about politics. She's got a turtle, and the name of the turtle is bureaucracy.
Really?
Yeah, just like the name.
It's funny. I get it.
I wanted to ask you specifically Danny Elfman. I mean, how did you work with him? The music is so important in Beetlejuice. It's so great. The first opening scene with.
Well, I mean, I basically treat it like an actor. Do you know what I mean? I talk to him in the same way, and it has the same impact as what like somebody that what Mike would bring to it, or anything. It's an important. Because I remember on the first one, you know, when we tested the movie without the score, it didn't test very well. The score, when we put the score in it, all of a sudden it made the movie make sense. So I treat him like another character, basically.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Nice. And to you, Michael, I wanted to ask you, you played some iconic characters, very strong characters, and a lot of actors, when they do that, they sometimes get stuck with that role. You know, the guy from Batman or the guy from Beetlejuice.
Right.
How do you do not to be that guy? I mean,
you know, to be honest, you have to. Mostly, I don't think about any of these things too much, but I didn't want to, and it was risky doing the first one. But I had already done a few things, and then I had to kind of, to be honest, I did have to kind of think about it and say, okay, because I just wanted to play other things, but it sometimes was misconstrued as, oh, he doesn't want to be associated with Batman. I friggin' love Batman. I love the first one. I like the second one too. And I even like coming back and doing it.
That was right.
First of all, he's just of all those pulpy, I'll say comic book characters, to me, he's really, really interesting. So I never wanted to run away from it. I just thought, I just want to do a lot of things. So I know how the business works enough that I thought, this is only risky in that, yes, you do run the risk of getting trapped. So you have to work a little harder, kind of, not strategizing. Maneuvering and picking certain things that might not be popular or financially successful. You kind of got to keep your freedom. You know, that was kind of hard, actually.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, and the last one for you, Tim, I don't want to steal a lot of your time. When you look at all your films, there seems to be like something of you in every character, a little bit of it. So if you look at Vincent, would you say that Vincent grew up to be the man that he wanted to be?
Well, yeah, sure, definitely. Yeah.
Are you happy?
I have my good times and bad times, but generally, yeah, you know, I think you always have to feel like I don't have any regrets. People that say I shouldn't have done this or done that, even if things are good or bad, you do things because that's where you are in your life. So, you know, I'm fairly comfortable with myself as much as I can.
That's really good, actually. Yeah, but you know, come back to, I'll say one more thing about Batman sometimes.
Of course,
because
if they let
that, you know, you have to show respect without being pretentious. Me or whomever does it, or Tim makes it, it does become a cultural thing. Whether you like it or don't like it or think it's silly or whatever, that has to be respected. So the one thing I always wanted to do with everything I do, but especially those things, I never wanted to make it like, oh, that's a silly thing. It's a cultural thing that you have to show respect for. So there were a lot of times where people wanted to make commentary or make a joke about it, and only until recently, I never wanted to, not to be too, pious about it, but you do have to show certain respect for certain, a lot of people put a lot of effort in. I'm not saying this because he's sitting here, the entire world of cinema changed once we made the first Batman, because no one was ready for that. And it triggered a whole lot of stuff that could be possible that never would have ever happened, because people went, oh, wait a minute, I can do that with that character, I can do that with that character, because we broke a lot of rules, But it was fun to make because it was scary.
It felt new. Look,
It was
even
scary.
this kind of stuff, Beetlejuice, everything like this, there was something that was unknown, and it's because now when everything is planned and franchises and this and that, we felt very lucky to not have those things.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even with this, I didn't care anything about sequel, I didn't think about money or franchise or anything. We just wanted to make this movie.
Yeah.
And that, that's a rare thing to be able to have that attitude in this business.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Thank you very much, guys.
Okay.